Today, we are going to explore the road less traveled. Sometimes it actually is more fun to take the road less traveled when you're out exploring. I'm not discounting the museums and the tourist attractions because I enjoy those also. But sometimes the best day is when you actually take the back road. Go somewhere where a lot of people aren't going, and you might find amazing things. This past summer, we decided to take the road less traveled, and we went on a lot of little back roads and explored our world. We started doing it because I was actually looking at geocaching. It is a hobby that I do, and we went out geocaching for the day. I would highly recommend it. Check it out, geocaching.com. It is fine, and it takes you to amazing places. But we actually started to head north from the town we live in, which is in Frederick, Maryland. And I was looking for geocaches. We actually went to Utica Park. The park is huge. There's tons of sporting fields. There's an old house. There's a lot of nature. There's some trails. It was actually really, really neat. And a lot of geocaches. I did not know it was there. And so we went off that main road and found a park. After we left the park, we actually stayed on back roads and we explored and saw old churches galore that are just out there on these little back roads. And they're such neat little churches. We explored the churches, we walked around them. We actually also even explored some of the graveyards that were attached to them. And some of these graveyards were old. We actually kept driving north on 15 and we went up through Gettysburg. Now we did stop in Gettysburg and we did walk through the town of Gettysburg just to do it, but it was so full of people and tourists that we kind of beat a path out of there and headed back to our back off roads, the roads less traveled. We actually stumbled upon amazing sculptures that you would not expect to see. And our travels took us to the Round Barn Farm. There aren't many of these barns left, so we did have fun exploring the barn. And we also had fun exploring and looking at the animals outside and the produce that they were selling. And yes, we did buy produce. And the Round Barn has a venue. And you can actually rent it and have events upstairs, and they have grounds. And on the grounds this day that we were there, they were actually doing a dog competition where the dogs would jump into water and they would see how far they could jump. And we had so much fun watching that. And the dogs, you could tell, were having a blast. Our travels took us back around through to Waynesboro. While we were in Waynesboro, we were still geocaching. We found a graveyard, and it's right in town. I've seen the graveyard a ton of times. It's the Burns Hill Cemetery. So we went into the graveyard. It's kind of literally on the side of a hill. And we went and found our geocaches, and one of the geocaches took us to this shelf that's on the hill, and it actually has cannons and a memorial to the Civil War. How crazy is that? Did not know that was there at all. For all of the times that I went through Waynesboro, did not know it. The day actually followed through and we ended up at the Zollinger School. And I did a video about this one a while back. Once again, I've driven by this, but I've never stopped to explore it. It was a neat place to find. We took the road less traveled that day. We drove a lot of miles. We saw a lot of things. They might not have been the big museums. It might not have been the big tourist destination. But we saw amazing things, and we had more fun than if we would have gone to any of those other places. We still explored our world. We still got out there. So I'm going to challenge you. Take the road less traveled. It might lead you to something you didn't even know was there.